Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the ANZCAR Cup here on the ANZCAR Facebook page and Performance E streaming over on YouTube. It is round 10 of 36 here at Dover International Speedway, and joining me in the booth tonight, I have Matt Hunter on cameras and Mr. Mark Johansson in the booth with me for talky stuff. How are you going, Mark?
Yeah, good, Carl. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Matt. What a great night to come back. A nice little um, short sprint type track, high banked. So we should see some really good racing here tonight.
Exactly. It should be an interesting one. And joining us up in the booth quickly in this warm-up session, we have Kinetic Racing's own Mr. Phil Otto. Phil, how are you going?
How you going, boys?
Pleasure to have you back in the booth. It's good to see you out on the track in the Cup Series. First race of the season for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure is. Had a bit of life things go on, so just doing what I got to do. So we'll be right. We'll have some fun.
Should be a good one tonight. Dover, of course, brings all the interesting stuff out there. What are you expecting tonight? What do you think is going to be the main problem out there tonight? Tyres, fuel, avoiding wrecks?
Yeah, all of the above. If you can save the right front, I think you'd be doing pretty good. So, and just staying out of everybody's way. That's my job. So we'll have some fun. We'll be right.
So, Phil, I'm going to ask you. So you're saying the right front. So is just taking two tyres in the pit stop an option just down the right for this track?
Not for me. For some of the good guys, possibility. But for me, if I'm taking tyres, I'm taking all four. So it's not worth it for me. So
The safe option, which is probably a good idea.
that's it.
Thanks for joining us up here for this quick little intro. Thanks for coming up, and it's good to see you back in the Cup Series. The car is looking fantastic. It's great to have the number one back out on the track.
It sure is. Thanks, boys. Good call tonight. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck, Phil.
Phil Otto there, Kinetic. First time in Cup this year. Good to see him out there. We've got a couple of extra cars tonight, so that should be interesting. We had a very strong... We sort of didn't have a full turnout, so no Lucky 31 race tonight. But we do have the Lucky 31 out there tonight, and that's Mr. Raymond Jaeger, who got the win last time out at Talladega, of course. Championship-wise, though, we have got Brenton Hobson still in the lead, 6 points ahead of Andrew Dyson. Neil Pearson in third position, 35 points down behind the leader. 61 points down is Foster in fourth. Fifth is Martin, 64 points off the lead. Sixth is Skurlock, 69 points down. 80 points down is Brad Allison in seventh, having a great season so far. Eighth is Micklemore, 92 points off the lead. 95 points down is Riley Curtis, and Luke Trahere rounds out the top 10, 99 off the lead at the moment. Championship-wise, obviously, there's a bit of a gap between the 10th and 1st, but it is very close between Hobson and Dyson at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think there'll be any love lost between the two of them. I think they will battle every round they attend to make sure they probably gap everyone else.
Yeah, they've been having some great performances and look, some really good results as well. Hobson was on a bit of a roll recently, of course, with those two wins. Daiso, of course, winning the bigger races. He's won the super speedway events, and we know he's good on the short tracks. But Dover is one of those tracks that throws a very different. It's a very different racetrack, and it is a very different place to race at. It's a very fast track, very high banked, of course, but the concrete track surface does change things up a little bit.
Yeah, once that track rubbers up and the rubber moves up the track, you can find yourself either running the low line if that has rubbered in really well, but the line seems to move up as the race goes on. A lot of the guys will try and get to that probably a car and a half width off the pole line and run that line for the start with, and then it'll slowly work its way up. And you may even find some guys running right up against that outside wall.
Yeah, you can sort of run multiple lines here, and it's one of the places where temperature isn't really a thing. Of course, concrete doesn't really get affected as much as the asphalt would. So even though it's quite a warm track temperature out there tonight of it's 33 degrees, it's not going to affect things much at all. There is a bit of a wind, though. There's about 10 kilometers wind speed in the northwesterly direction, so that could throw people off in a couple of the corners. That can really just chuck things out a little bit. But we are gridding up right now, so let's go through the starting order. Up on front, it is a Mitch Motorsport 1-2. Josh Micklemore and Jason Martin taking pole position. On the second row, it's Foster and Allison. Third row, Skurlock, Trahair. Fourth row, it's Hobson, Raymond. Fifth row, we have Douglas and Schultz. Sixth row is Lobb and Hedderscheid. Seventh row, we have Russell and Williams. Eighth row is Jay Schultz and Norman Clark. Ninth row, we have Ryan Jones and Ryan Curtis. 10th row is Dortanack and Phelps. 11th, we have Spencer and Jaeger. Jaeger, of course, lucky 31, but getting lucky in this race because he actually gets to qualify, so he moves up to 22nd. Then we have Wellman and Curvis, Dyson down in 25th position, quite a bit down for Dyso. He's going to work his way through the field. Otto on his outside. Then it's Pritchard, Patton, Jackson, Neal, Koch, and Pearson towards the back of the field. So they've got a lot of work to do tonight. Obviously, it is a place where you can work your way through. Just keeping your nose clean, though, is going to be an important thing here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to avoid those early wrecks. I hope we don't have any early, but I've never seen a race here, both in real life and in sim racing, where we haven't had one inside 25 laps.
Yeah, it is very tricky to get green all the way. We saw in the Xfinity series last night, pretty much almost a full green race at Darlington, which is almost unheard of, with just the single caution. So hopefully we get a nice one tonight where we don't see any of those pesky yellows coming out. Pace car is pulling in. Martin is going to pull away here tonight. It's good to see Jason Martin back up at the top in this next gen car. When's he going to launch it? When's the green going to drop? For the 10th round of the ANZCAR Cup, brought to you by 24/7 Sim Services. It's green and away we go. Martin gets a fantastic start ahead of his teammate Josh Micklemore. Foster in third. And just listening to these cars roar around the Monster Mile is a fantastic thing to hear indeed. As we come around, and it is just like that. The first lap is completed. It does not take long to get around here.
No, it doesn't. And they've all settled down. They're all in single file. Dyson's making a big move around the outside further back there. So he's already got the hurry up on.
Yeah, trying to get his way up the order quite quickly. Currently battling it out, I believe, with Mirko Dortanack there in 62. Mirko supporting a new paint job, new BMX Bandits paint job there. Just in front of him is Norman Clark as well. Clark getting up high, and Dyso dives down the inside. Will Dortanack take advantage of that? Yes, he will. The 62 Toyota gets down there and slides through. Riley Curtis looking to make a move as well. Norman Clark's dropping a couple of positions there. Meanwhile, up front, Martin has absolutely pulled away in the lead. He has got almost a half-second lead at the moment. He's got a good advantage over them, but that can quickly change. Of course, you don't want to go using your tyres too quickly here. Sometimes you can bolt a little bit too soon, and that can wear the tyres out too quickly.
Yeah, definitely. As Phil said, it's that right front that you really got to look after. The guys have got to really, ideally, you want to be up high against the fence coming into 1 and 2, drop down to the apron or to the pole line, and then drive your way back out up to the fence. And that's the best way to look after those tyres here. But some guys will push, and I reckon within 15 to 20 laps, we may see some people get very skatey.
Yeah, that's it. Once those tyres start dropping, they start feeling like a bit of a ship to turn. They get very tight in the corner, a lot of understeer, and they get very hard to twist through the corners. Good evening to Gail Foster. Good old boys up at front. Yeah, we've got a lot of the classics up front at the moment with Martin, Bicklemore, Foster, Skurlock. Hobson, of course, one of the newish comers, but Trahair there and Allison as well. Douglas up there too. So, quite a few of the older statesmen of ANZCAR up towards the front. Just looking back a little bit, Dyso is on an absolute charge at the moment. 11 positions gained as it stands. He's behind Stevie Dubb at the moment.
Will we see them team up and try and work through the field, Carl? That's that's the thing. We saw that on Saturday night with us that they teamed up and they were an awesome pairing and drove through the field. So are we going to see the same thing? Although looking at that's Dyson's got under his teammate and pulling away.
Yeah, he's absolutely just easing away, isn't he? He's flying away up at the front. A big puff of smoke from somebody there. I'm just looking to see where it came from. Just trying to figure that one out. So, looks like Nigel Patton's had a moment. Luckily, no cautions come out, but he's had a huge moment across the start-finish line. Patton, back end stepped out on him on the exit of the corner. He manages to save it, and then cuts across in front of Otto and Koch, just missing them by a frog's hair. Watch this one here. Just gets it below the line a little bit. The car gets unsettled. He loses the rear end. Look at how close it comes. Otto and Koch just avoiding that by the narrowest of margins. Cigarette paper between those cars there. Very lucky to get away with that one for those two drivers. And Patton also lucky, no caution brought out.
What I think you'll find, Carl, is as you know, that turn 2. There's a little dip, a rise and a dip as you come out of that turn. So I think he's just as he's got to that top of that dip, as it comes down, he's got on the gas that little bit too quick, and that's what stepped it out for him.
Very easy thing to do in these cars, of course. You know, you got 700, well, just tad over 700 horsepower coming out of the rear of these things. They have got the diffusers on them now. They've got the fancy suspension at the back, but they have got the big tyres on as well, which tend to take a lot of time to warm up. And on the concrete surface, they can be a bit funny at the start of the race as well. And I think it just looks like he's got caught in that dip exactly as Mark said. Just lit the tyres up a little bit too quick, and then around she goes, and it's kind of like a pendulum. You can't stop it once it starts.
Yeah. I was going to say, if we watch here, so you watch your cars just there, where there's a little bump. It's not much of a bump, but there's one there, and if you get on the gas at the wrong time, that's all over.
That's it, and I think he just clipped the apron a little bit as well. So he just got down just on the apron as well on that bump. So a bit of double trouble there. Getting on the apron and getting on that bump at the same time is it's a recipe for disaster, as we saw, unfortunately, for Patton. 32 cars out here tonight. Unusual for ANZCAR Cup, as we normally only see 31 these days. But we had a sort of smaller turnout than usual, with it being Dover. So we just thought everybody can come out tonight, rather than having a couple of cars racing in the Lucky 31 race, rather than having a 2-car race in that. Everybody's in there, but we did, of course, have Raymond Yeager win that one last time at Talladega. He's just getting passed by Neal Pearson at the moment, but a really good job for Yeager to get that Lucky 31 win. It's second win of the year as well, and Pinnacle have been doing a fantastic job in the Lucky 31 races. I think they've won all but one of them. So great job indeed, and we finally get to use that lovely graphic that Matt Hunter has worked so lovingly on and tried to get into the broadcast for many weeks. He finally gets to use it at last.
What's it been? 4 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah. Basically cursed it by making the graphic. We've got some really good racing going on a little bit further back in the pack at the moment. We've got some 2-wide action going on. Maddie Ray at the moment racing the 23 of Raymond Yeager there. So the two Rays battling it out, and Greg Spence as well just getting up there. Maddie Ray having a bit of a slowish start to this race. Looks like he's going for maybe just easing off a little bit at the start, keeping the tyres a little bit more alive for the latter in the stint. Normally we see Matty Ray doing the opposite, starting at the back and working his way up the field. Tonight he's started at the front and he's working his way back.
Well, the good thing is that there's only one more way to go, and that's going up to the front.
Exactly. I think he was feeling a bit strange up at the front this early in the race. Of course, 200 laps here tonight, so a nice long time to go. So 200 miles in this race. Nice and easy to work out, luckily. Of course, the Monster Mile here, of course, with Miles the Monster stands out as gate guard to the complex. It is Jason Martin of Mitch Motorsport in the lead, 1.75 seconds ahead of teammate Josh Micklemore at the moment. Foster in third, and he has Skurlock looking all over the back of him at the moment. Foster will glance up in his mirrors and see a terrible sight, and that is the face of Michael Skurlock adorning the front of that car there with the handlebar moustache. But then it is Hobson sitting in just behind there for the Synergy Racing team, and he's just going to be sitting there, not pushing too hard this early, just keeping it relaxed. His teammate Jaden Russell now has Andrew Dyson, biggest mover of the race, all over the back of him. Dyson with 15 positions gained, same as Neal Pearson actually, so those two both sitting on 15 positions gained at the moment, seeing who can gain the most spots. Next up is Barry Neal, who's had a good run, 12 positions gained so far.
Matt, I don't know. Can we get a shot of Paul's car? I just want to see if he's got his purple wheels on again for me.
Paul Jackson.
Paul Jackson. Yep, there they are.
There we are.
Yep, he makes sure they're on just to annoy you.
I'll tell you what, though, if he has a good run, he's another person that you can watch out for. Because, I mean, to say, he can have his nights, and when he's on song, he's on song. He's a hard man to beat.
He is. We've got an early pit stop from Mirko Dornak. I wonder if that's him actually just pulling out of the race, or if he's just coming. It looks like he might be pulling out of the race, possibly. Some kind of technical issue, unfortunately, for the 62 of Mirko Dornak. By the looks of things, unfortunately, it looks like he's out of the race. I was thinking a bit early for a pit stop on lap 26 around Dover. I mean, that's going to be a interesting strategy, but looks like pulling it out the race. Of course, they do only have 4 sets of tyres here tonight, so the tyres you start off on, and then you can change them 3 times during the race, as is tradition, and no fast repairs in ANZCAR as well. Very much a thing we don't believe in, because, you know, it's make it as real as possible, and when things go wrong, unfortunately, it can be quite painful. Meanwhile, Neal Pearson is having a great battle with Daniel Heckscheid at the moment. Side by side, they go. Atari versus DPR at the moment, and just behind him is Barry Neal as well. Neal is stuck to the back of Pearson at the moment and pushing his way forwards with the DPR car. Those two have been working their way up the field nicely tonight, and they are moving forwards at the moment. Heckscheid is just sort of caught on the outside, should get a better run off the corner. Just down the front straight here, he's got Ruben Phelps sitting in just behind him as well. Just gets down nice and low, manages to cut off Barry there and just get that position defended for another couple of laps.
That's a bit scary. 3 Kiwis together.
The Kiwi contingent over there.
Yep.
With of course, the all Kiwi team, of course, the Ayatura Aurora team down there as well, which I will one day pronounce correctly, but that has not happened tonight.
I'd just like them to change the name to Team Kiwi. Make it a lot easier for us. I'm not even going to attempt to say the team name. So
this is why we keep Matt in the booth, is so we can just throw to him whenever we need to mention them. Meanwhile, Riley Curtis just is in a position now to Neal Pearson. Pearson on an absolute charge as well. DPR moving forwards. Dyson has managed to get past Jaden Russell as well. He's up into P9. Pearson moving up on Riley Curtis at the moment, the RCD driver, having a good run. Ryan Jones next in the sights for Neal Pearson. Meanwhile, Dyson and Luke Traher having a good battle, and Jaden Russell wants to get in on this one as well. Jay Russ getting around the outside of Traher, making the move, getting past Traher there, and really having a good battle up for the 10th position at the moment. The top 10 having a good fight. The rest of the cars are pretty settled down. It's, who was that getting up in the wall? Just then, I saw somebody just getting up into the wall. I think it might have been Aidan Schultz just getting up into the wall. Yeah. Aiden Schultz just getting up into the wall around lap 33, that time where the tyres start to fall off a little bit and the car gets a bit tighter. As you were talking about before, Mark, it's when those tyres start to fall off and that car gets a bit harder to turn through the corner, and I think that might be what caught Aiden out.
Yeah, when that tends to start, when the car starts to tighten up, I find that if I just drag that brake a little bit, start using a little bit of a sprint car technology and dragging the brake, trying to hold it down. But it also has a side effect on that if you need to use your brakes in a hurry, they're already probably a little bit too warm and they won't pull up as good.
Well, we know the brake temperature, especially in this next generation of car, they tend to be on the cooler side of things. So I imagine a little bit of brake dragging is probably a good it's not too bad in these. In the last iteration of car, though, I know what you mean. They used to absolutely cook the brakes, and you'd go to press the brake down, and then all of a sudden you just go careening off into the barrier and find yourself somewhere in Delaware. So just looking through at the moment, got Pearson getting past Ryan Jones as well. Pearson working his way up through the field, 37th lap at the moment. Having a good race at the moment. We've seen some really good passes, some really good racing out there tonight, which is fantastic to see. Aiden Schultz really having a good battle with Darren Lobb at the moment, side by side. DPR and Aiden Schultz having a battle here. Very, very close. Aiden Schultz on the high side at the moment. Low on the inside. Lobb just getting a really good bit of traction off the corner there, and I think he might have that pass done. Luke Traher looking to try and also take advantage of that, but can't quite make it done.
New paint scheme there for Aiden tonight.
Yes, he's got the paint scheme for the ANZCAR series, I believe, because Southern Star's not racing in it, I think, if I remember correctly, but he's still, in fact, kind of Southern Stars, effectively, yeah. As Dave Douglas starts to make a move in the casting couch, just getting underneath Luke Traher in like cool racing entry. With the way down sponsor on the front. Dave Douglas in the 10 gets down there, and Stevie Dubb looking to make the green machine raw past Luke Traher as well. These three having a good battle as it stands, and I just wonder if a few of these drivers are just keeping it a little bit chilled out at the moment and not pushing too hard to try and keep the tyres in a nicer condition for the latter stages of this race. Maybe try and get one less stop than some other drivers, try some different strategies, because if we get a green race here, Mark, I know it's unlikely, but if we do, it could be interesting to see who goes for a two-stop, who goes for a single stop.
Yeah, 100 laps though on a set of tyres, that's pretty keen.
I think it would be. I'd say it would probably be pretty dangerous as well with the right front blowing. I'm not sure what the story is with these cars, whether they do it, but the other cars, like Xfinity cars, they blow the right front tyre after about 85 laps or so. So
yeah, we had one a couple of weeks ago let go. I just can't remember exactly where that was, Carl. You were in the race, or maybe I might have been thinking about the Masters. There's that much racing at the moment, I can't remember what's what.
No, we did have tyres go for a few drivers coming into pit lane. They were letting go. So it still can be a problem, but of course, it just depends on how much it's wearing. We're already on lap 44, so if they could make it another 55 laps, they could split this race in half. But as you said, it is dangerous. It is that sort of thing of you have to be really, really confident that front right's not going to let go, because there's no warning when it happens. Sometimes you're just sort of driving along and all of a sudden that tyre will just go poppity pop, and it can really catch you by surprise.
yeah, look out for anybody sort of drastically slowing pretty quickly and then sort of limping into pit road, and that'd be a good telltale sign.
And one of the other things as well is actually coming into pit road on pit road is sometimes especially with this style of car, is the tyre will actually let go when you're braking, because it is such heavy braking into pit entry. The tyre will generally blow for you on pit road. So as you're going into pit lane, the tyre will let go, and that can be a problem sometimes to slow the car down. Jason Martin's gap is starting to close, so maybe he bolted a little bit too early. He's still got a 1.5 lead over Micklemore, but that gap is starting to close a little bit. They are coming up to a bit of traffic now as well, and that might have a bit of a part to play in this too. The traffic's starting to get a little bit thicker as well as it goes on. These long green periods, it does mean the cars get spread out more, and you start to get a bit more traffic throughout the race. But lap time wise, Barry Neal last time round said a 23.7, so about 7 tenths off the best lap. So there is quite a bit of tyre drop off, but by 50 laps, that's kind of expected. It's not as bad as we've seen in the past here at Dover.
No, definitely not. There's been some real big drop-offs. Sorry, I'm having a problem with my sound.
Yeah, it's one of those things that the tyre drop-off can be huge. Of course, especially at these shorter tracks, and when you're on concrete surface as well, it's a very different style of race surface. It's a little bit rougher on the tyres, and chew them up a little bit easier. So that can definitely be a thing. But in the latter stages of the race, of course, there's going to be more rubber down on the track, so it should be a little bit easier to go. It should be a little bit easier on the tyres, so to say. And of course, as they race on, they are using up fuel as well, so the car's getting lighter as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm fascinated to see if we get a nice long green stint period and we get green flag stops. Who's going to be the first to duck into pit lane?
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to recall. I know iRacing's got the iRacing Super Speedway. That's cement. I think Nashville, and there's only one other track on the circuit that's is all cement.
I'm thinking.
I know Nashville is, Dover is, but I know there's one other, but I just can't.
Is it Bristol? What's Bristol?
Bristol's dirt now.
Don't talk about that.
No, Bristol's asphalt.
Mm.
Oh, look, sorry, I just can't remember. I know there is a third track that is cement. But brain's gone blank. It's been such a long day.
North Wilkesboro?
Yeah, North Wilkesboro. No, that's asphalt.
Obviously you've got the paperclip, which is a mix of cement and tarmac as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it's that thing. I'm sure somebody will be screaming in the chat soon to let us know. But it's that thing of brains, it's tricky to actually.
I'm pretty sure it's one of the 1.5 mile tracks. New Hampshire? No, not. Is it New Hampshire? Hampstead?
Hampshire.
Hampshire?
New Hampshire.
Oh,
Look, see.
So someone out there.
I've cracked out the Google. It's Bristol is a concrete service.
Okay, it's Bristol then.
Beautiful.
So I was mistaken. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. I should know that. Bristol's one of my favourites.
Until I went and poured a load of dirt on it.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with dirt on Bristol for sprint cars.
Yeah. 2%. Jason Martin's still in the lead at the moment. Dyson's worked his way up nicely. He's just behind his championship rival now, Hobson. He has snuck it up behind Brenton Hobson at the moment. There's a bit of a gap between the two, though, a good couple of seconds. But an early stop could quickly close that one. So will we see anybody looking to take advantage of the undercut? Nobody. Riley Curtis is actually in pit lane, so I wonder if Riley's come in for repairs, or in fact, I think his night might be over. In fact, actually, I think that's him done with in the number 4. I think he's had a bit of a moment, quite a lot of front end damage. Yeah, he's had a big moment.
I'll
Couple laps back on lap 52. The car just got on that bump just through turns 1 and 2 and hit the wall very hard. And I think that might be Riley Curtis's night over and done with. So Jason Martin in the lead, pulling the lead up a little bit now. So jumping back, I think, just to see if we can catch that Riley Curtis moment.
No.
Carl, I've just been able to get in touch with Riley. You got a copy there, Riley?
Yeah, gotcha, boys.
Hey, mate, what happened?
I ran out of talent. This very low on my list of tracks I liked over, and I just I don't think I touched the apron, but got a little bit close to it on the exit of turn 2, and it sort of just loosened the back of the car up. And the way that I find these next gen cars is once that rear starts to go, it's very hard to catch it if it snaps back right.
Yeah, we were saying that about the getting down and the car breaking loose. How was your tyre wear on the right front? And have you been able to have a look at that for the 50 odd laps?
Looking at it now, it's pretty good. I won't give a number away in case anyone.
No.
It was actually pretty good. I was the right front. I was still well up over half.
Do you think there's any danger of a tyre blowout on that right front tonight, you reckon?
I think it'll be very dependent on how hard they're pushing. I reckon if you push quite hard early in the stint, I reckon they wear out quite quick early. So quite possibly. Especially I had a fair bit of fuel left, like 38 laps or something. So they're going to run it out. Might happen for some people.
You got anything to add there, Carl?
No, I was just looking and just noticed that Mirko Dornak's car just absolutely exploded its engine for no reason. So just sitting in, I just saw a big puff of smoke. But no, shame to see you out so early, Riley. I sort of looked back at the incident and just saw it looked like that bump on the sort of apron just caught it out. And as you said, very hard to catch these cars once they get loose on the rear. A shame to see you out so early, but hopefully we will see you back in the booth in better conditions soon.
Yeah, here's hoping. I don't think I've had a trip up there this year yet, besides bad shit, so we'll see what happens.
Exactly, you're due for a proper trip up here soon, so hopefully we'll see you here in the good circumstances in the next couple of races.
Here's hoping.
Thanks for your time, Riley.
All good, boys.
So yeah, I was just looking at Mirko's car, and he just sitting in the pit lane, just in neutral, and obviously the engine didn't go off, and it's just overheated itself and just blown its motor. So we've got a nice smoke screen across the start-finish line now. So sending the old smoke signals out. So interesting to see. But we've got cars coming into pit lane. Josh Micklemore, Dave Douglas coming into pit lane. So we've got the first of our pit stops happening on lap 67. So interesting to see there. These guys are going to come in, and that should be a bit of a pace advantage for them. At the moment, fastest car out there is Jaden Russell, setting a 23. Oh, caution is out. Caution is out. What did we get that one for? That has just come. Just trying to look to see what that caution was for, actually.
Daniel Heddershouts lost it. Coming off turn 4, I believe. Turn 2.
Okay. So that's sort of come out at a really inopportune time. Oh, unfortunately, he's caught. He's lost it, and then bouncing off the wall, he has gone into Barry Neal as well. So that was a big one. We've seen bigger crashes at Dover, but that was a nasty little wreck there, and that is going to really hurt both of those cars. Obviously, with Dave Douglas coming in pit lane, Josh Micklemore They sort of came in at just the wrong time there, just coming in just as that caution flag flew. That was probably just the worst time possible because they fell down a lap.
Yeah, definitely. But it won't take them long to get that back. I'm sure of it, especially DD.
Yeah, that is not. It's never fun when you're pulling into pit lane, especially at a short track like this, and then you see that caution come out at the worst possible time. You have that sinking feeling, don't you? So I think Tom Pritchard might get the waiver out. Got be the lucky dog on this one. We'll find out in a few moments. But they've all come down pit road. They're all getting 4 sets of boots put on their car, and it is Jason Martin getting out ahead of Edward Foster in pit lane. With Hobson just moving up a couple of spots, actually. I think Hobson's managed to just beat Skurlock out of pit lane. Skurlock was stationary just for a couple of attempts more than Hobbo. Just beat him out of pit lane by a tiny bit there. So interesting to see. Neal Pearson, really good job. 24 positions gained so far, as well as Andrew Dyson. Gary Wellman currently sitting up there as well, but he'll be in pit lane shortly as well. He's just sitting there as he's not come down the pit road yet.
I've been able to grab a hold of another driver there, Carl. If you want to have a chat, Mr. Brad Allison, you got a copy on us there, mate.
I do have a copy on you.
So how's your race going tonight? Any insights on how it's going?
Yeah, absolutely terrible internet connection. 1 minute there's cars on the track, the next minute there isn't. So I'm letting a lot of cars go through rather than risking net coding or something because it's just undrivable nearly at the moment.
That's no good, mate. You've had a pretty good run the last couple of weeks, so let's hope this isn't a turnaround of bad fortune. Yeah, you there?
I'm here, yes.
Yeah.
I'm having some internet troubles, so as you can hear by even the voice is playing up. So the picture is worse than the voice.
All right. Well, thanks for jumping up, Brad. I'll stick you back down in your room, and mate, and good luck for the rest of the race, mate.
Thank you, Mark. Sorry about the internet connection.
No, it's all good, mate. Understand.
And just in front of Brad, actually, in that, just as he was up here talking to us, there was a bit of a moment between Darren Lobb and Aidan Schultz. The two of them just getting in contact with each other under the safety car on lap 70. So Aidan Schultz just not quite jumping on the brakes soon enough, just getting into the back of Darren Lobb there. And quite a bit of damage in the back of that black DPR car. So you can sort of see the on the left front of, right front of Aidan Schultz and the rear of Lobb's car, there's sort of matching damage. So that's just under caution there, which is never fun when you have those little moments. But we will be getting back to green flag racing soon. So this is giving everybody the chance, other than those drivers that we mentioned before, it's a chance to come down pit road and get everything done under a caution flag, which is always nice.
I think there was a heap of cars just went past the pace car then too.
Yeah, so there were a few cars that were just sitting there to get their lap back, and in them was Paul Jackson and Tom Pritchard, who haven't come down pit lane yet. So they chose to get their lap back. So I think they're hoping for an early caution here on this restart to try and come into pit lane, just so they kept themselves on the lead lap. So interesting little call for them. They've just got to be very careful on this restart, not to spin the tyres up, as Jason Martin's going to lead away. Foster on the outside. When is Martin going to drop the loud pedal? We're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. Everybody's waiting. And he is leaving it late, and away he goes. Good restart for Martin there. He catches Foster napping, and that's good stuff. Hobson as well. Hobbo getting away nicely there and gets up into second place. And look at Andrew Dyson as well. He's there battling away. He's getting underneath Foster as well. That low line got a lightning restart. They got that restart perfectly timed. Foster just got caught a little bit napping, and that really cost him that little bit of time.
He's got to get back down on that low line, otherwise he's done it. He's got into that line. I was going to say, if he doesn't get back into that low line, in that train. He's going to get
Oh,
in the background.
Luke Traher having a big moment. He's just got speared down into the barrier. No caution flag though. Looks like Traher's just lost it out of the corner. He was just trying to get past Stevie Dub. Car got really loose on those cold tyres and he went bang into the wall. Huge a hit there for Luke Traher. Michael Skurlock having a little bit of a moment as well on that lap, but he manages to keep it. Not the same situation for him, but that's one of the things you've got to watch out for with these cars. Cold tyres can be deadly, and Luke Traher gets caught out there.
Again, it was that little bump out of turn 2, mate.
Oh, Skurlock just gets very loose as well. Skurlock just getting down. He got a big tank slapper on in the middle of the corner in turns 1 and 2. He's just gone down a little bit too early. He caught the apron. He managed to save the car, but that was a very costly mistake for Skurlock. And exactly a similar situation, Mark, as well. Just catching that bump and the apron as well. It's not where you want to catch it, and it's very easy to lose a car here at Dover when that happens.
Oh, definitely. And that big magnet that someone turns on every now and then on the outside of turn 2 doesn't help.
No.
Oh!
Jaden Russell there and Darren Lobb, was it?
99 and...
yeah. Darren Lobb there just going really far down, and we got a caution out. And it's Jaden Russell who's just got onto the apron as well, down on the corner of turn, just on the corner of turn 1. He actually just hit the apron a little bit, and then hit the hit there, and then around he goes, unfortunately. Loses control. Skurlock tries to avoid it, can't quite. I think did he just avoid that one? Very close to Skurlock there. Just made it through without contact. And then Patton, I think it is, caught Jaden Russell, unfortunately. A little bit afterwards, Greg Spencer almost made it through. No, sorry, it was Greg Spencer caught that one, and then unfortunately Daniel Heddersheed as well caught Jaden Russell as well. So Matty Ray getting very lucky to avoid that incident. He just snuck it through there. What do we say about Matty Ray keeping it clean? He just managed to just sneak it through that tiniest little gap there and save that car. But no, a few other people weren't so lucky.
Yeah, definitely. Cold tyres again. I'd say, Carl, just stepping out on him and not, as everyone's said in the past, these things are just so hard to catch when they get loose on you.
I'll tell you who this has worked out perfectly for is Paul Jackson and Tom Pritchard. As I said, they stayed out. They didn't pit, so they could stay on the lead lap. They've come in now. They were banking on an early caution in this run. It came out for them, and that has really helped them out. So they're going to be on nice, fresh boots now, which isn't always a good thing, but they are going to be on fresh boots at least. Yeah, they're going to be coming out, and that's worked out perfectly for them, and they've managed to importantly stay on the lead lap. But really unfortunate for Jaden Russell there, and Greg Spencer as well. His engine is pretty much done, so Greg Spencer is going to be out of this race as well.
Yeah, definitely not the way Greg would have wanted to the end of the night. But one good thing, Carl, is we've still got 21 cars on the lead lap. So that's pretty good for Dover.
Yeah, that is fantastic job. And we're on second caution of the night. 81 laps into a race at Dover with only 2 cautions. That is, I mean, obviously we've cursed it now, so we're going to get out 700 more cautions. But so far we've had some really good green flag racing. So it's going to be good to see how this one goes. And it'll be interesting to see how this one works out. Currently, the first car a lap down is Tristan Koch. He's got Phil Otto just behind him as well. Phil just coming through pit lane. So it'll be interesting to see how those ones work themselves out. Greg Spencer and Raymond Yeager also in there. Raymond Yeager getting some repairs done. Spencer, I think, is very much a night over. And I think Same actually for Matty Ray. I think maybe his night might be done too. I think he might have actually got a bit more damage than we expected, because he's had to come into pit lane and he's getting a long repair done. So he actually got hit on the left right there. He got hit pretty hard by Greg Spencer. So I'm wondering if that caused a bit more damage than we suspected. Unfortunate for him indeed, as he finally gets that car moving. Just gets caught in that rear quarter panel, and that really hurt him.
Just been down and broken into the SRM Australia Motorsport, mate. Matty Raiden, number 83, he will make it back out tonight. He's got about 50 seconds worth of damage, and the crew is working very hard to get that car back out.
Yeah, I just saw him leaving the box. The mobile breaker mechanical team working very hard to repair that one, and they've done a good job on repairing that one. So finally back out there, good to see. But yeah, just got unlucky with that hit. I think just right on that rear, and it must have done a bit more damage than we suspected. Did he get the? Do you know if he got the meatball flag that he had to come in?
No, he didn't say. I don't think he did though.
Okay. But he is down 4 laps, so that's the painful part of it. But it's Dover, things can happen. We will see how this one goes. It is Martin leading the way, Hobson on the outside, Dyson Foster behind them. How is this restart going to go? Where is Jason going to let the loud pedal roar? He is doing it early this time, gets away nicely. Hobbo catches him though. Hobson does not get caught out by that one. The cars break up a little bit behind him, and Dyson moves straight up to that high line. He gets a nice run underneath Hobson though. Really nice move there from Andrew Dyson. And the battle is still on between the two championship rivals at the moment. Hobbo on the outside, Dyson on the inside. It looks like Dyson has got that move made. 23 positions gained so far tonight for Andrew Dyson. He's really siving his way through the field. A little bit further back, his teammate Neal Pearson, 27 positions gained this night as well. So DPR doing the hard job of working their way up. Oh, as Stevie Dub gets caught! We're going to get another caution. Big accident. Will we see the yellow flag? We do. Josh Micklemore and Stevie Williams there gets caught up. Stevie Dub just loses the rear going through turn 1. The rear of that car just wiggles a little bit. He tries his best to save it. I think he gets tagged a tiny bit from Aiden Schultz, and then around it goes. Micklemore has nowhere to go. Unfortunately for the Affinity Construction Mitch Motorsport car of Josh Micklemore, there was nowhere he could go in that one. And once again, proving that he's not had the best of seasons luck-wise, and I think he's got some engine damage as well, because I can see some smoke pouring out of the blue Mitch Motorsport car.
Yeah, being sandwiched between a car and that inside wall, that safety barrier, it still does a fair bit of damage. So the radiator's probably been damaged, and a few other key spots. I've just Darren Lobb and Ryan Jones. There's no loss between them on that restart. Ryan was really getting in the back of the 99 car and really letting him know that he was there on that restart.
Pushing him along almost. Giving him a few friendly little nudges there. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see, because they're going to be close together again on the next restart. And you know, as we know in oval racing, payback does tend to be a thing that comes around.
Yeah, stock car drivers tend to have a long memory.
They do. They are the elephants of racing drivers. They have a long memory, and they will eventually snap and get back at you. One race or another, it will come back to bite you. So we'll see how that one goes. This has worked out well, just looking through the field at the moment. I think this will work out well, possibly for Phil Otto. He might get the lucky dog on this one. We'll soon see. Or it might be Raymond Yeager. Of course, Raymond Yeager, the lucky 31 entry for Pinnacle Esports tonight. But he kind of, everybody got in tonight anyway, so he was the lucky 31 winner from last time out. But we had 32 cars tonight, as we said, just a little bit of a smaller entry list here tonight, and we managed to get everybody in. And look, so far we've seen some really good, clean racing. It's just, unfortunately, as is often the case, and what we say so often, I don't think it's ever been said before, actually, Mark. Cautions breeding cautions. It's not something I've ever heard commentators talk about before, but
Nah, never, mate.
it's
Never heard
it's
that
a thing,
before.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, good old cautions breeding cautions, yellows breeding yellows. Yeah, pace cars breeding pace cars. It is a thing that happens, unfortunately. Everybody gets grouped up with each other, and especially when you've got people on cold tires, people on slightly warm tires, you have a mix of people around you, and people get a bit more racy as well on those restarts because you are side by side, and you tends to be more likely that an accident's going to happen. Of course, running behind the pace car as well, the tires do cool down a little bit, so the pressure drops in the tires, so they become a little bit harder to steer. And the drivability does drop a little bit on the car as well. So there are lots of these little things that cause this chain reaction to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate thing that um, I know I've done it myself. Like you just forget about how cold the tires do cool down, and you get back on that loud pedal, and it's oops, I shouldn't have done that so quick.
Yes, it's like I think we've all been there once or twice, and yeah, it's a very frustrating thing to have happened. And unfortunately, the 31
Steve, Stevie Dub's back in the pit lane. I'd say at the start to try and get some more repairs done.
yeah, he's trying to keep on the lead lap as well. Just getting the repairs done, cycling through in the green machine. But we are going to go back to green flag racing very shortly, so he's gonna want to get back out there quite quickly as well, because obviously the cars will be going a lot faster soon. So it's very easy to lose a lap in this sort of situation. Once again, Jason Martin going to be leading away. Great run from Martin tonight. It's been a while since we've seen Martin up at the front of the field. He's
Stevie,
not.
sorry, Stevie Dub's out of the pit lane.
Okie dokie, and so he won't drop a lap, which is important here. But it's been a while since we've seen the Purple Mitch Motorsport car up at the front. He's not been having the best of time in this new Gen 7 Cup car, but tonight he seems to be having a much better run in the 21. But how is he going to handle this restart? When is he going to drop the pedal? He's waiting for it, waiting for it. And he does it now. He catches.
Oh, what a great!
Out a little bit there.
I was going to say that second stage of that start, Dyson has really come alive there.
It's a really nice restart there from himself, but Hobson gets a good one as well. He tries to put the pressure on Daiso there, doesn't quite make it happen. Dyson didn't get the best getaway in the initial part of that restart, but the second stage, when he upshifted it, he sort of got alive there. So beautiful restarts there, but Martin once again just times it to perfection, gets away as we've got a car around in the background. I think it's Gary Wellman. Did he save it? No, he didn't.
Oh!
22. And the 8 caught up in that one. And that was unfortunate indeed. So, looks like Paul Jackson just tagged the back of Gary Wellman. I said I saw a car going around in the background. It was indeed Gary Wellman. Just gets a tag up there, goes into Jai Schultz, and then down he goes. He manages to clip, unfortunately, the number 8 of Jamie Nankervis. And then he holds on his brakes, of course, but unfortunately, there is nowhere to go for Barry Neal and Nigel Patton. Neither of them had anywhere to go, really, and they've both got caught in that one.
All honesty, Carl, that may have been a net code, mate.
Yeah, I think honestly, from the sounds of it on the radio, it might have just been a slight netcode tag from Jackson on the back of Wellman.
Oh, that's going to be big damage there to Ruben.
But
oh, Jamie, it is. Sorry,
Jamie,
yeah,
Nankervis, yeah, Jamie and Jamie Nankervis gets tagged, and then unfortunately tagged again. Just a little bit of a kiss from Phil Otto, who just going through there, almost made it through unscathed, but just tags the front of that car and gets caught up in that one as well. So, caution number 4 of the night. We had a nice long break, nice long green period, but now the cautions have started flowing. Lap 92, 108 remaining here. Will we see the leaders thinking about coming down pit road and coming in for possibly a fresh set of boots and some tyres in this stage. Will we see a few people considering it in the top 15? It might be an idea.
Might see if we can grab a word from Phil, and see what he's seen from his cockpit.
Yeah, indeed. It would have been a tricky one to spot, as unfortunately you can't see much out of these cars.
Got a copy there, Phil?
Yeah, got you, buddy.
So, what was that like from your cockpit?
You really want to know? I think I just got someone on the right front, so we'll see in a minute. See how much damage you got.
Yeah, unfortunately, you clipped Nankervis just that tiny little bit. It was just a fly's hair between you and him as you weaved your way through that carnage. Unfortunately, Nankervis just rolled down a little bit at the worst possible time and just caught you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's just one of those. You had nowhere to go in those places. It really narrows up coming off. So, oh well, that's racing. It's the way it goes.
So have your nerves calmed down? You settled down now, mate. That you're well into your first race.
Yeah, sort of. A little bit. Still a bit humpity bumpity for an old fella. Yeah, we'll have some fun. It's all good. All good.
I tell you what, you did do well to miss Barry Neal coming flying back down the track.
Yeah, there was a gap on the bottom, and I thought I'd see how we go here, and that's when he just drifted back down. So, well, can't be helped.
Nah. So everything apart from that little tap there, everything going well. No heating problems. No tyre wear problems.
That was the first bumble dooble that I'd had all race.
Yep. No, that's good, mate. That's
I was enjoying
really
it.
well.
Well.
Anything to ask Carl before I drop him back down?
No, you're right, mate.
Oh no, all good. Look, hopefully it's not too much damage for you, Phil, and hopefully we'll get to see you back out there and back racing.
About 5 minutes, but we'll be right. Done the most we'll want. So.
Good luck for the rest of the night, Phil.
Thanks, boys. Have fun.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Phil. Well, there you go, Carl. It was definitely an underwear changing moment, I think, for him.
Yeah, very much so. It was a really, it was one of those where it looked like he was almost going to make it through, and just unfortunately, I think Jamie might have just lifted his foot off the brake a little bit too early there and just sort of got caught. He might have been thinking that there was another car coming up high, but it just caught Phil out. He just scraped through it, but just got caught out at the end of it. But it does mean we're getting back ready for a restart. A couple of drivers did come down pit lane for fuel, I think. So a few people coming in for fuel and a few for tyres. So there's a couple of split strategies. So Dave Douglas and Michael Scullock are on the freshest tyres at the top. But we are green, and Jason Martin does not wait for us this time. He is right away, moving like a whippet with a bum full of dynamite. He is right off the line. And Hobson has a DPR sandwich right now as Neil Pearson goes down the inside of Hobson, tries to make the move, and it looks like he's going to stick it, gets down the inside of Hobbo and gets past. It is Martin leading Dyson and Pearson, with Hobson just behind now. Foster sitting in 5th, with Ryan Jones 6th, Darren Lobb in 7th. 8th, we've got Aidan Schultz. 9th is Brad Allison, and Michael Scullock sitting there in 10th. But remember, Scullock has got some fresher tyres on board as well. I saw a bit of a moment for somebody back in the background there as well. I
think it was Raymond there, mate. Oh,
it was indeed, yeah. Raymond just losing the rear end of the car in the corner, but he manages to save it and get it pointed in the right direction.
The reckon.
There's a huge wreck out of turn 2, and that has caught up a lot of cars.
That's a parking lot.
Well, we'll see what happened there. So we'll go back and have a look at that one. Jai Schultz, it looks like, has... Aidan Schultz, lost the front of the car in the middle of the corner. He's had a big moment coming out of 2. Bounced back down, hit the O3 of Allison, Dave Douglas, Phelps, Jackson, Norman Clark, and then pretty much everybody else from the back of the field had nowhere to go, and It was absolute carnage there. Well, we talk about the big one at places like Daytona and Talladega, but we just saw the big one here.
Yeah, that it always seems to be that turn 2. The Exeter turn 2. It just seems to be the black spot of this track.
Yeah, really caught them out, and you could see just Schultz just losing that car slightly. Just on just a couple of laps into that restart, the car just wiggles that little bit, and we said it time and time again. It's really hard to save these cars, and it's again proof that it's just really hard to save these cars. Look, the rear just steps out on him. He tries to correct it, and then it overcorrects, and then up into the wall it goes. And unfortunately, there is not a lot of real estate on this track once a car is sideways.
No, definitely not.
And that has taken out a lot of cars there as well. That is at least half the field taken out there, unfortunately. Quite a lot of big names involved in that one as well. People like
Yeah.
Dave Douglas, Maddie Ray, I saw Paul Jackson. Both the Otoro cars are sitting in pit lane with no bonnet. Awful lot of drivers getting involved in that one, unfortunately. I think even Michael Scarlett, did he get caught up in that one as well?
Yeah, he did get caught, but I think he's made it back out.
Yeah, he's back out. Just looking at the damage on the front of that one, and I think he got away relatively scot-free. A lot of damage to the rear of the car, but just a slight bump on the face. It's always hard to tell on Skurlock's car because the front of that thing is so beautiful. It's always hard to tell if there's damage on it.
Look at how many cars are parked up in the pits.
Yeah, that's a real shame that's happened. But it's stock car racing. The big one can happen at any time. Dave Douglas's car's got no rear end on it, so I don't know if he'll make it back out. The 28, that's Jaden Russell. He's got a lot of damage there. Norman Clark's got a lot of damage, both front and rear. He's got no bonnet, and the rear end's a sardine can. Ruben has got rear end damage. Greg Spence, he's parked up for a while now. The 45, Gary Willman, no front end. Looks like Phil's back in the pits.
A lot of people coming in to get repairs done. Pretty much the cars that are damage free at the moment, or relatively so. Jason Martin, just wait for them to actually get past pit lane, but Martin, Dyson, Pearson, Hobson, Foster, Lobb, Jones, about seven cars. 7 cars, I think, pretty much relatively damage-free. Ryan Jones, I think, is the last of them to not be involved in a big accident. Then Stevie Dubb worked his way up into 8th now. Raymond Yeager, the lucky 31, up in 9th at the moment. And Michael Skurlock in P10. But it's going to be a tricky one. But I think it's going to be somebody like Nigel Patton, for instance. It's going to be worth getting back out there because he's 10 laps down, but there's so many cars now out of the race. You can gain a whole heap of positions here. You can find yourself well inside the top 20 tonight if you can just finish the race.
Yeah, if you can get back out there and get points, that's now got to be the target of the guys in pit lane, to get out and get points.
As we go back to green flag racing for the 24/7 Sim Services ANZCAR Cup. It is round 10 here at Dover International Speedway here on Performance E streaming, and of course the ANZCAR Facebook page. You can find out all about ANZCAR on anzcar.com, the website up there in the left-hand corner. Of course, all the details there. But it is Jason Martin again getting away. Fantastic restarts tonight, you've got to say, from Jason Martin. He has been performing beautifully, but he's got a very fast charging Andrew Dyson behind him. 23 positions gained, 29 positions gained for Neal Pearson up in 3rd. So those boys having a very good race and doing the hard way as well. I think they've worked their way through the field.
Yeah, it's been great to watch by both of them. it just shows the caliber of driver.
Very much so, and it's great to see as well. Andrew Dyson. It's been a fantastic thing to watch his journey in ANZCAR when he first joined up, of course, road course specialist, and same for Hobson as well. Brenton Hobson. Both of these drivers, road course specialists, of course, but they weren't too sure about the ovally stuff, and they have come on leaps and bounds on the ovals, winning and doing well from speedways to short tracks, as Neal Pearson gets past his teammate there and gets up into second place.
Neal seems to have the better pace at the moment out of the both of them. Although I don't think Andrew will lay down and let that go.
I think Andrew's got quite a bit of damage to the right front and side of his car there. Looks like he's hit the wall pretty hard at some point.
Yeah, Dyson caught the wall early on in the run, so he got quite a big hit on the front early on in his stint. It didn't affect him too much, but it's one of those things that doesn't help the car. Of course, damage is not necessarily a good thing for a car.
No, definitely not. Although it shouldn't hurt him too bad here. Like, you don't need a great deal of aero, or you need the aero, but it shouldn't hurt him too bad with that damage.
That's it. The only thing that is problematic is if it damages a little bit the suspension and the geometry of the old suspension things, stuff like that. But again, they don't tend to bend too easily. They're pretty tough old beasts, those things. Jason Martin getting a good restart, though. He has pulled out a half-second lead over Neal Pearson at the moment, and we've got a battle of colours at the moment. It's the purple car of Jason Martin against the red car of Pearson and the orange of Dyson. And then, of course, we have the shade of black in the back with Brenton Hobson there. The blue and white of Edward Foster sitting in fifth at the moment. Just having a cruisy night, Foster. He's not pushing too hard at the moment. Just keeping there or thereabouts. Not really putting pressure at the front, but not dropping off either. So having a good run at the moment, just keeping his nose clean. Darren Lobb having a fantastic drive as well, new to the ovally side of things for DPR. He is having a good run at the stands, and Ryan Jones as well in the 11. Watch out for him latter stages of this race. We've seen a slightly different Ryan Jones recently. Ryan Jones has been working a little bit more on tyre preservation and late and sort of long stint pace rather than his short-term pace. So been interesting to see as Hobson makes a move on Dyson. Hobson gets the move done there for P3.
All right, Carl, we've got two drivers that are willing to come up and have a quick chat. They've been cleared from the medical centre, so we'll pull one up at a time and have a quick chat.
Sure thing, Mark.
Hey, Brad, how are you, mate?
Still alive.
No medical conditions that we need to know about after that big wreck?
No, one lung is still working.
Well, that's a good sign.
So,
The other's got a few punctures from the ribs it broke.
so what happened in your eyes, mate? What?
I foretold the future. I called that wreck before it happened on my stream. I said the next wreck's going to involve Aiden and myself, and as it was, Aiden obviously got loose and then just turned, and Skirley got into him, and I got to him, and Phil got to me. It was just a quick audio effect. That's part of racing short track. There's nowhere to go here with cement walls. It's just, it happens.
Yeah, it's one tight little track to try and fit these cars around, especially if one's facing sideways.
Yeah, I love it. I love racing here. It's really good. It's just, you can't overdrive. If you overdrive, you're looking for trouble.
But how much damage is left on the car? Are you going to be able to make it back out tonight, or is it night over and done with for yourself?
No, I was just saying to the guys, I've only got 2 minutes 54 optional once I get through the 53 minutes 19 of required.
Okay, so not too long then. So once they've effectively built a brand new car for you, you'll be fine.
Exactly. Once they've removed the rib cage from the steering wheel, I'll be right.
That's it. Look, good to hear you're okay. Obviously, unfortunate about the race and sad to see you out of this one. But hopefully we'll get you back in the broadcast booth soon in better conditions.
Terrific, guys. Thanks. You're not as sad as I am about it all, but I've got to jump off now and watch the broadcast because it's a great broadcast. Good on you all, everybody. Matt, Carl, Mark, good on you.
Thanks for your time, Brad, and we'll see you back next week.
We will.
Speaking of, we've got a race going on between Ryan Jones and Ed Foster at the moment. These two have found themselves on track once more, as often the case between these two, as Ryan Jones makes the move on Foster and moves up to P5. Battle up the front as well as starting to heat up as Jason Martin is getting pressure put on him by Neil Pearson at the moment. Pearson getting a great run off the low line, getting a good run down the start finish straight here and going to get the inside. Goes very late underneath Jason Martin. Martin has to lift out of that one. Goes up a little bit high, loses a bit of time. Neil Pearson takes the lead from Jason Martin. And finally, we have a different car leading this race. Neil Pearson taking the lead here from Jason Martin. Will Jason Martin be able to get this one back?
It looks like Neil's getting stronger and stronger as this race is going on, Carl. So it's going to be hard if Neil can gap Mr. Martin. It's maybe a bit hard for him with who's that behind him?
He's got Hobbs behind him.
Hobbs behind, trying to get up onto his tail. So it's going to be a good run home.
Yeah, we've got 80 laps remaining, so still a long way to go, and that's obviously going to mean people are going to need to come in for some fresh boots, I would say. They're not going to make it home to the end from here, so that would be interesting to see. It's as I said, there's a few people coming back out onto the track. I think Jaden Russell, I just saw just slithering back out onto track, and I did see as well Josh Micklemore as well. He's back circulating as well after that huge amount of damage. So a few cars coming back out on track with, well, I say cars, a few wheels coming back on track. As Ryan Jones starts to make a move on Andrew Dyson now. Ryan Jones coming alive at this stage of the race as well. Jones, as I said, he's been focusing a bit more on long run pace than short run pace, and it's showing at the moment as he gets a move done on Andrew Dyson now.
Yeah, definitely, and we've seen the love taps that he gave to Hobbs on that two restarts ago. So he's definitely wanting to get on with the job.
Yeah, moving his way up quickly at the moment. I see we're joined up in the booth by Phil Otto as well.
How you going, boys? We're going to stop meeting like this.
I was just going to say, third time in the booth, I might as well hang up the microphone and the headset, and you can take over, mate.
You come whack the helmet on, eh?
Mate, not the way you wanted your the race, your first race back then.
No, it's not. But oh well, what can you do? It's just I had nowhere to go. I just feel really sorry for Brad. Club renewed. I had everything locked up, but that's just short track race. So oh well.
Oh, as Norman Clark's engine has gone, let go on the start-finish straight. I did see a huge puff of smoke in front of the leaders, and that was it. Norman Clark losing it there. Sorry to cut over there.
No, that's fine. Not the way Norman would have wanted the race then. So, Phil, will we see you back next week, mate? Have you sorted out a few things and good to go again, or?
Fingers crossed. I'll be out there. It all depends what life throws at us. So, but hopefully I'll be out there.
Yeah, well, I know for me, it's good to see you back out on track, mate. The car was looking good. Give you a quick chance to thank any sponsors before we say goodnight to you.
Just want to thank all the boys at Kinetic Racing for giving me a chance over there. So thanks, boys. And for you guys for putting this on an ANZCAR too. So an awesome job.
No worries, mate. Well, sorry to see the night end like that. Carl, anything to add?
No, just hopefully see you back soon, Phil. Look after yourself, and always good to see you out on track, mate.
Thanks, boys. Catch you. Have fun.
See you, Phil. Well, definitely not the night that he wanted to have.
No, that is not the return you want to have happen, unfortunately. We saw a bit of racing going on between Jones and Dyson while that interview was going on, but up the front, It is very tight between Pearson, Martin and Hobson as well. These three are so close together at the moment. Barely a cigarette paper separating those three cars. They are within touching distance of each other, and they are putting on a good race. 71 laps remaining of this round here at Dover, and it is turning into one heck of a race up at the front. As we say in motorsport, sometimes you only need two cars to have a race, and with all the incidents tonight, we've almost only got two cars left out there, but they are giving us a great race at the moment. The three cars up the front, fantastic job, and then you've got back the fourth position going on as well. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, really quite close at the moment. Darren Lobb just on the back of Foster, who's trying to keep attached there. Foster and Dyson having a good little battle as well. So there is some good racing up the front. Watch out for Latterly in this stint as well. For Michael Scullett and Raymond Yeager, they're both on the lead lap. They stopped. They're the first two cars that stopped, so they stopped 30 laps ago. So they have got a lot fresher tyres. They can go much longer than the leaders can. So if we go caution free, it could be interesting to see how it plays out for those cars.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just wondering though, did Scurlo take tyres when he come down through pit lane to get some damage repaired? If so, he's definitely got some fresh boots under him.
I believe he did take some tyres around that time. I think I remember seeing him chuck a set of boots on. For Jaeger, it was only a short stop for that last stop, so he just took some fuel. But I think he came in pit lane as well at a similar sort of time. So I think they might have some fresh boots on them, but we will find out, I'm sure. We'll find out properly as this race goes on. 67 laps remaining. We're on lap 133 tonight here at Dover. So still a long way to go here for the Monster Mile.
And it's been a monster of a track to the cars tonight.
It has indeed. Of course, it's an interesting track, Dover, of course, because it has got a horse racing course in the middle of it as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those unusual tracks.
It is indeed. And Mark, I know you like the odd bit of trivia. So back in the 1980s, there was a horse race between four NASCAR drivers at the time. Do you reckon you could hazard a guess at the four drivers that took part in said horse race and the winner of the horse race?
When was it? The 90s?
1980s. It was 1980.
80s?
1984, I believe. Precise date. And the winner of the horse race went on to actually win the race itself.
Well, I know who I'd like to say, but I don't think he would. That's the wrong type of horsepower for him, and that's Tony Stewart.
Well, no, before Tony Stewart. That's another little factoid for later on.
No, I'm sorry, Carl. You've got me there. I have absolutely no idea.
I'll have a crack. I'll say, let's say Petty, Yalborough, maybe an Allison and a Waltrip.
You got three of the riders correct. The one you were missing was Dale Earnhardt. He took part in the horse race.
Yeah.
So it was Bobby Allison, Carl Yarborough, Dale Waltrip, and Dale Earnhardt in the horse race. Who do you reckon won the horse race?
I'd say Petty.
Yalborough.
It was Bobby Allison.
Bobby Allison.
Yeah. And then he went on to win the actual Cup race itself. So, yes, he won in a car with 1 horsepower and then won in a car with he won on a vehicle, well, sort of transport with 1 horsepower and then won a race with a vehicle with much more horsepower later in the day. But yes, it was a little interesting factor dug up for that one.
No, that's very interesting. I don't even recall that. And in the 80s, I spent a lot of time in the States, so...
It's a good one. I mean, it's an interesting one, and it's one of those weird ones. Apparently, Bobby Allison, there's talk that he cheated in the horse race because he swapped horses just before the race started. His horse was swapped out for what the other drivers said to look like a purebred racehorse. And it was in the in the trots, the little cart things that they use. But yeah, but apparently Bobby Allison was cheating in that race with a purebred racehorse, and interesting little fact right there. But he denies it to this day. But Darrell Waltrip is one of those drivers that's adamant that he was cheated out of the victory in that horse race.
There's some other factors there, but let's not go into that because it'll bring up a lot of discussion later on off air and about other people cheating and different things.
Yes, that's it. Oh dear, no, interesting one there. Also, of course, IndyCar did run here at Dover. They ran here at the beginning, so back in the US? I always get this mixed up. USAC days in the 1960s. But in the 1990s, they ran here as well. As we've got a move actually happening up the front. Jason Martin making a move on Neal Pearson here. And look at Hobson. He is looking to try and get it done as well. He's looking to sneak it through there. Doesn't quite make it, but almost gets through as Martin clips the wall, just tags the wall there, loses a bit of momentum. That's going to slow Pearson down. Will Hobson get the opportunity here to get past Neal Pearson? They're going to race for it. Pearson manages to block him off, manages to hold that second spot.
What do we got? 55 to go. So the boxing gloves, I'd say, will be coming off very shortly. As you can see there, they all want that front running spot.
And I wonder if these front drivers are thinking they can make it to the end. These tyres have done 76 laps now, so that I think they're being a bit optimistic. But because of all of those cautions, I wonder if they're thinking, maybe we could push it a little bit longer. Maybe we could do something here. So will we see them try a little bit of a different strategy here? But Jason Martin back in the leader of this race. Looked like he was just hanging back a little bit and then went for the attack again. But Pearson is putting the pressure on at the moment. And the same as goes for Hobson. A little bit further back, there's a freeway battle going on behind Ryan Jones at the moment too. It's Ryan Jones, Andrew Dyson, Edward Foster. Darren Lobbs fallen off the back of this pack at the moment. He's not quite close enough to take advantage, but it'll be interesting to see. Cal Foster just jumping into YouTube, just asking, going to need a green flag stop. I believe we will for tyres. I think everybody's going to have to come in because they stopped around about laps. They started coming in around about lap 67 for tyres last time round. They've already gone almost 80 laps on these tyres, so I imagine they will probably have to come in. They might try and push it, they might try and risk it, but I think it might be asking a little bit too much of these tyres as Dyson starts to make a move on Ryan Jones right now, and looks like he might have it done as Dyson starts to push his way forwards in the 41.
I actually think Dyson. Nice catch there by him. Nice and loose off. Dyson's probably coming into pits.
And so is Ryan Jones.
Yep. So their tyres are shot.
Yeah, this answers the question. When are they going to come in and pit? Well, now is the time. So I think we will see them starting to come into pit lane relatively soon. Of course, the undercut is quite powerful here, so they've got to... They can't leave it too late because they could really lose out on positions. Foster coming into pit lane as well now. So Foster coming down pit road. We've got the battle up the front. Martin, Pearson, Hobson at the moment. Those three separated by nothing. When will they pull the trigger to come down pit lane? Got to say, whoever pulls that trigger first is going to gain track position. But whoever leaves it that little bit later, they could be rewarded with pitting under a caution, or they could be they could have better tyres for the end of the race, of course. So it's will the undercut be much stronger here tonight, or will the overcut be the better option? We only have 47 laps remaining, so you don't want to leave it too late because you will run out of laps.
Yeah, definitely. And I was just looking at Ed's battling partner there, Mr. Skurlock. That both of them come on the pit lane together.
Yeah, that leaves Raymond Jaeger out there, who's one of those drivers that I think might have some slightly fresher tyres, so he might leave it a little bit later. We'll soon find out though, as it looks like Pearson's coming into pit lane. Pearson is the first to blink, is he? No, Pearson's made a mistake. See? No, he is pitting. He went very early there into pit lane. Did his tyre go? I wonder. Pearson peeling off very quickly there. And Martin's coming in now as well. So Pearson coming in. I don't know if that was just being safe there or not. He just looked like he came down a little bit too early. He lost a lot of time in on the pit entry there, I think. But yeah, that's interesting there. So Hobson's sticking it out a little bit longer. So it's Darren Lovers.
Oh, we've got a spinner.
He's lost it. Ryan Jones has gone around as he's lost the rear end there and gone up. Tags Dyson, but it's remained green. Dyson got very lucky there. As
how that is cat-like reflexes. How I cannot believe he missed that.
Not the first time we've said cat-like reflexes for Dyson, is it? That is a pretty common statement as Hobson keeps it out there. So it's currently Hobson, Lobb, and Jaeger out there at the moment. Believe that Jaeger has got the freshest tyres of them all. Stevie Dubb as well. He's on a fresher set of boots as well. He's on tyres that have done around about 58 laps. So he's got a few more laps before he considers pitting. So if a late caution comes out now, it could be perfect for people like Stevie Dubb, Jaeger, Lobb, and Hobson.
I was just going to ask Matty if we could follow Dyson around. Did he touch the wall coming out of the turn 4 there, evading that?
Yeah, just trying to have a look at it now. No.
He's dead.
Got away with it.
He got away with it. And Dyson is currently leading Jason Martin as well. So Dyson has got out ahead of Jason Martin. Neal Pearson has got out ahead of those two as well. I did wonder if Pearson maybe was a little bit slow coming into pit lane, but those fresh tyres have really paid off. Pearson had a beautiful stop. Meanwhile, Brenton Hobson has come down pit lane as well. So he's come in, and it's Darren Lobb in the lead. I believe first time leading an ANZCAR race for Lobb, so he's going to get a point for that. And always a nice thing to have as well on your resume, leading a race. So he's keeping it out there a little bit longer. He's trying and hoping that a late caution will come out. Same with Jaeger and Williams at the moment.
I'll tell you what, that's impressive by Raymond. Starting 22 and up to third.
Yeah, he's having a good run at the moment, but remember he has to stop. Just jumping to Foster now. He's got Neal Pearson all over the back of him. Remember, Foster came in a little bit earlier, so about 3 laps of tyre difference between these two drivers. So it's Foster versus Pearson now on track. Foster managed to get that leapfrog with those fresher tyres as they still past Trahair and Gary Wellman there, keeping it up nice and high. As Foster keeps down on the low line, Neal Pearson goes around the high line. He's decided to take it round the high line at the moment. Will he get it working? There are some lap cars in front of them as well, and I think it's actually Stevie Dubb as well, so it's positioned cars as well. So it's a battle for position going on here, but it is a DPR teammate for Pearson. So this could come into his favour right now as Stevie Dubb goes down on the low line. And that helps Pearson get through.
I'll tell you what, the race radio just lit up then.
Yeah, imagine Foster will not be happy with that. Teammates there helping each other out, of course. And it's a team sport as well. Foster's lost a fair bit of time there as well. So he will be trying to get back on the tail end of Pearson now and seeing what he can do. Jaeger still out there though, so he's keeping it out there just in case that caution does come. There's only 35 laps remaining though. 66 laps possibly on those tyres as well, so it's a big ask, and he hasn't got... It'd be tricky, I think.
He's got to be a brave man to stay out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the thing, is just stick it out as long as you possibly can, because he's got 20 seconds over Pearson at the moment, and we saw the tyre drop off wasn't that high. It's about a second a lap, isn't it, really? So yeah. Pearson will catch up to him, and he'll catch up to him in about 20 odd laps, but if a caution comes out, Jaeger will be in a fantastic spot. As Foster is right on the back of Pearson now, and I think this could be a battle to keep an eye out for as well in the latter stages. Jason Martin has got past Dyson as well. Martin, Dyson and Hobson are back at it as well. That fight is continuing. So we've got some good battles out on track now. 33 laps remaining here tonight at Dover for the ANZCAR Cup, of course, round 10 of the championship season, although we've missed a race kind of because of server issues. As Foster gets very close to the back of Phil Otto there, manages to keep it out though and keeps on going. But these two, if they start battling away, and if they start really battling, it's going to help people like Jason Martin catch up to the back of them quite quickly. So they've got to be careful not to lose too much time. So just looking through the field at the moment at the battles going on, we've got a fantastic fight between Martin, Dyson and Hobson as well. That battle is really giving us some stuff to watch as it stands. Those three are still so close together out on track. They came in a few different laps, but it's sort of come into effect there. It's working out, and Hobson's making a move on Dyson at the moment. Hobson getting a great run on the low line. Really gets a super drive off the corner. Almost gets past Jason Martin as well. Will he get underneath Martin this time? The 88 goes down there and looks like he's making a move. Hobson is very much on the move, sailing past Jason Martin there. Brendan Hobson is pressing the go button now.
Yeah, definitely. That bottom line would have some great rubber on it now, so get a real good drive.
Yeah, it looks like he just got a really good exit off that low line, and it just rocketed him forwards and caught Martin by surprise a little bit.
Which is unusual. That bottom line normally comes off, and it's normally the middle, the high line that really comes in later in the race. But it seems to be working the other way this tonight.
Well, as we said, new generation of car, and that can change things up a little bit. Of course, they've got the bigger, fatter tyres on them these days as well, and that's changed things up an awful lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was just listening to the radio in the background. Stevie Dub just said a piston come through his windscreen. So, I don't know what that was about. Yeah,
it sounds like Michael Skurlock's engine just spitting out a piston, but it's not affecting him too much at the moment. So he might be running on 7 cylinders, but it's running well. Of course, the Camry, of course, the Toyota, it can of course run on 7 cylinders, unlike most Fords and Chevys, those terrible cars. So.
Oh, let's not go there, Carl.
Poke the bear a little bit there. But Hobson is on an absolute charge at the moment. He is flying. He is just setting fastest laps as we go. He is the fastest man out on track at the moment by a good margin. He is really putting the pace on.
How much time has Raymond lost in the laps? Has his lap speed dropped down?
He is last lap round. He did a 24.1. Neal Pearson, 23.7. So the time is it's starting to plateau a little bit. I wonder if the tyres are starting to plateau a little bit for those leaders. They're not gaining as much as they can. We've got 23 laps remaining. Jaeger is now on lap 78 of this run. So it's a fairly long run, but he's got a 14-second lead. So he has got a fairly handy lead at the moment, and with only 22 laps to go, you've got to say you'd probably roll the dice, wouldn't you?
Yeah, with 22, I'd be sitting out there now and waiting. And if the tyre blows, the tyre blows. No risk, no gain. So you've just got to have a go at it. Although he's definitely jumped to the high line there. So I don't know if the tyres are starting to hurt on that car a little bit.
I think he's definitely struggling a little bit. He's not having the easiest time, but he is still keeping a fairly good pace. And one thing that's going to help him right now is Foster is right on the back of Pearson, and Hobson is getting involved in this as well. We've got a battle for second place, and if these two start fighting away, it's just going to start costing them time, and this could give Jaeger the chance to just pull away that little bit. Look at Hobson though, he's just taking all the lines at the moment. He's running the high line, the low line, the mid line. You name it, he's got a line for it, and it is working for him. Look at the speed he is able to get out of that car.
Yeah.
He is absolutely in synergy at the moment.
Definitely, trying to put the wind up at Ed, but Ed's been in this game a long time, so he'll keep a cool head, and just keep battling away. Obviously, he hasn't tried to stop him there. Just let him go. Let him take the lead, break the wing thread, and Ed'll try and sit on his tail.
Yeah, he's got the chance now. If Hobson can Hobson's obviously got the pace, and depending on where he passes Pearson, if he passes Pearson and pushes Pearson up high, could cost Pearson a little bit of time, and Foster might be pretty eager to try and get underneath him on that one. So we'll see how that one goes. Hobson looking to the high line right now, and Hobson going up high at the moment. He is sitting up there. But they have got some lap traffic coming up relatively soon. No, they're okay for the moment. And Hobson gets the move done up on the high side. Gets through there. Pearson tries to get it back on the low line. And this battle is going on. Hobson goes down to cover him off. Gets the cover done. Pearson loses a little bit of pace there. Foster gets a bit of a run here. Will he get enough of a run? Pearson comes down to close the door on him. Will he have enough speed to do it? No, he doesn't. Foster getting down on the inside, side by side. Little door-to-door contact. Foster into Pearson. Pearson into Foster, and we've got a caution out. Big moment there. Pearson and Foster making contact in the mid-corner. A little bit of net code, I'd hazard to say, there in the mid-corner. They weren't really close on my screen. And Pearson's gone up into the wall and unfortunately bounced back down into 53 of Foster. And that has spun those two cars around. And then did Jason Martin go into Foster? He did! Jason Martin caught Foster, and Martin's gone right into Foster. And that has been costly for a fair few cars there.
Foster's in pit lane.
So watching this one again, looks like, as I say, I'd say it's a little bit of net code in that initial contact. Pearson's gone up into the wall, and then around they go. And then Jason Martin's thought, oh, I'm going to have a gap underneath. And then unfortunately, Foster has gone back down on the line, and that's caught them out. This is a godsend for Raymond Jaeger, though. He is going to come into pit lane and get a fresh set of boots for the end of this race. Will we see the rest of the field come in? I don't. Yes, they're all coming in, I think. So that is going to be interesting to see the final of this race. Quite a lot of chatter over the radio on that one.
Yeah, Raymond's taken 4 tyres.
But Jaeger has had a fantastic job. And that is going to be a lot of big one, though. Big loser out of that, though, is Jason Martin. He just absolutely got caught there. And yeah, look, that is painful for Martin. He was having a fantastic run, probably the best run he's had in this new generation of car. And just heartbreaking to see that one for Jason Martin because he has had such a hard year so far. And just absolutely the unlucky recipient there. Nothing he could do.
I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, go grab your favourite drink and your favourite snack and come back because this is going to be a hell of a 13 lap or 12 lap race. We now have a sprint race with no love lost.
It is going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. This is going to be a fascinating one. They're all on fresh boots, other than Michael Scott. I think Scott stuck it out there, didn't he? So Skurlock's not come into pit lane. So Skurlock's decided to risk it, and he stayed out there. So he's kept on the lead lap, but that means he's in second place at the moment, I think, or he might be dropped down. He's in fifth place at the moment, sorry. Rest of the field pretty much come in. Ryan Jones not on fresh boots. So fresh tyres, Darren Lobb, Andrew Dyson, Brenton Hobson, Raymond Yeager. 4 drivers there on fresh boots.
I can tell you what, Carl, the race radio is still lighting up.
Yeah, I think that this one's going to be there's going to be a lot of work for the admin team tonight for all of them.
Yep.
So it's going to be a busy night, I think. But we have got an awesome race ahead of us, and it is the lucky 31 of Raymond Yeager that is in the lead, the Pinnacle Esports entry, currently leading this race. Fantastic strategy of keeping it out there. It is paying off for him, but he has got, well, 3 very fast drivers behind him on fresh tyres of Hobson, Dyson, and Lobb as well. So that is going to be a really tricky pack to defend against. No slouch on the ovals though, Yeager, of course. The Australasian E-Series reigning champion, actually. Of course, the V8s on the ovals on the Sunday nights. And he would dearly love to get a win in the ANZCAR Series here tonight. That would be a fantastic one, and I think he'd be very happy with that one. But it's still a few laps to go. 11 laps in this one. It's still a long way to go. 11 miles. Who is going to get this one? Oh, this is going to be one heck of a race, Mark.
Throw a coin in the air and he wins.
Nice
early start.
He is just taking no time at all. He launches the car off there, gets a very nice start, but Hobson is all over it. Hobson and Dyson late into the corner. Hobson up on that high line, using that high line to his advantage, gets a beautiful slingshot around there. Dyson trying to keep onto the back of him, can't quite do it. Hobson has gotten away like a scalded cat there. Beautiful start by Hobson.
Yeah, great start. Great run there by Dyson too. Just left Raymond in the wake. Like they, I'd be asking for a fuel sample.
You've got to say, like, one of the things, of course, is Raymond's been out there on those old tyres, running sort of slightly different lines, and Hobson and Dyson have been running all the different lines as they've raced up through the field, so they're kind of used to these slightly different spots, and I think maybe that is it. They're just a bit more confident on that high line, and that really helped him out. Now Yeager has Darren Lobb all over the back of him as well. Will he be able to defend the P3? That's going to be the thing for him now. 8 laps to go. It is between Hobson and Dyson now at the front. Lobb making a lunge down the inside for third. Lobb trying to get down there. It's Yeager on the outside, Lobb on the inside. Who's going to get this one? They're getting so close to the wall there. Yeager's got the high line. Will he have the confidence to hang it out there? Not quite got the confidence in there. Quite a bit of damage on the Pinnacle Esports entry as well, unfortunately, so that might be hurting him a little bit too.
Yeah, I don't think he would have wanted that caution with that 14-second gap, 13-second gap.
Yeah, it kind of really cost him there. Of course, his tyres may not have made it, and in which case this could have been this is a better finish than he would have had. But it's a question that we'll never know the answer to now. 6 laps remaining.
I'll tell you what though, Carl, he's got to be proud of himself getting up in the fourth from where he started, and it's a great drive no matter where. So if he finishes in that top 4, it's a fantastic drive.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, as we said, he won the race at Daytona for the Lucky 31 to lock himself into this race. He's done a fantastic job tonight of gaining every point possible. We saw it with his teammate Justin Witcher as well. As he just gets a slight tap of the wall there. But Justin Witcher having a really good run, getting inside the top 10 as well. And just making the most of the opportunity to get into the Cup race, to get those points underneath your belt. He's done a really good job of it tonight, of maximising those points. But meanwhile, it's Hobson in the lead ahead of Dyson. Lob is currently sitting in 3rd position. Then we've got Michael Scullock in 5th. Ryan Jones quite a bit further back in 6th position. Jason Martin's the only other car on the lead lap at the moment in 7th. Stevie Dubber in 8th. 9th for Tristan Koch. Really good job for Koch.
That's pretty good considering he was involved in a big accident. So, I mean to say, points, you've got to get, when you get the chance, you've got to take every point you can.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you've got to take those advantages when they come, and in a race like this where things get thrown upside down and everything can happen, including a giant kitten walking across the track and flipping the cars off. You've got to maximise those positions, and Tristan Koch has done that tonight. A really good job. 22 positions gained for him. Matty Ray getting up to P11. We saw him drop right back in the field, and he's worked his way back up to P11, so good job for him. And Josh Schultz as well having a good run out there in P10. But Brenton Hobson at the moment, as he comes around to receive the white flag, in the lead of this race. Will he make it 3 for 3? Hobson having an absolute run of things recently. Really, really good results for him. He is going to be super happy for this one if he can get it.
I think he's got it there, Carl.
And he does indeed as he crosses the line. It is Brenton Hobson taking the victory, his 3rd of the season. And here at Dover, a great job for him. Andrew Dyson comes home in 2nd. 23 positions gained for him tonight. A lot of work done for him. It's Darren Lobb coming home in 3rd position. I'm just trying to see if that's his best finish today. I think he might have had a podium. I've got a feeling he may have had one podium already. But a very good job from him tonight to get P3. P4 for Roman Jaeger. He's going to be super stoked with that. The lucky 31 getting in to P4. 18 positions gained. Michael Scullock comes home in 5th. P6 for Ryan Jones. Jason Martin, a disappointing P7 for him. He will be gutted with that one after getting caught up in that wreck. Stevie Williams in 8th position. Tristan Koch finishing in 9th position, 22 positions gained. And Jai Schultz rounding out the top 10 tonight. A good result for him.
Yeah, definitely a great result for him. Unfortunate for some of the bigger names that got mixed up in some things earlier on. Like Ruben's done well to come back and finish where he did with being 18 laps down. There's some big names there that would be in the top 20 that may drop out with some of these other guys getting some good points.
Yeah, it's going to affect things up a little bit. Championship-wise, it is going to change things a bit, I think. It's really going to shake things up, I think. So interesting to see. But importantly for Hobson, he beat Dyson, his championship rival. That is all important for him at the moment. Those two are in an absolute mega battle for the regular season championship. And once again, Hobson just gets the better of Dyson. As I said, coming into this race, it was a 6-point gap. And that is just going to help Hobson that little bit. And I think he had some good laps led as well. So really good news for him tonight. And yeah, just a really strong result. So let's run through that finishing order once more. So it was Hobson taking the win ahead of Dyson, Darren Lobb in third, Jaeger coming home in fourth, Skurlock in fifth, sixth for Jones, seventh for Martin, eighth for Williams, Koch in ninth, Jai Schultz that is, in 10th position. Then we flip over the page and it is Maddie Ray in 11th with Nigel Patton in 12th position, 13th for Pearson, Douglas 14th, 15th for Foster, Jackson in 16th, 17th for Phelps, Micklemore in 18th, getting back out there with that very damaged car and managing to get P18. Not the night he would have wanted, but at least it's some points. Luke Trahere 19th and 20th 20th for Greg Spencer. Then we flip over and it is Gary Wellman in 21st position, 22nd for Nan Curvis, Barry Neal in 23rd, 24th for Otto, Russell in 25th, 26th for Clark, Allison in 27th, 8th for Aidan Schultz, 29th for Pritchard, Hedgehog in 30th, 31st for Curtis, and Dorfnack in 32nd, the first of the cars to go out, and toasting his engine pretty early in that race. So let us start with our third place finisher for DPR. First time up in the box for this gentleman as well for the Cup Series, Darren Lobb. Congratulations on a strong P3 finish. The first time we've had you in the podium in the Cup Series. Well done on that one.
Yeah, Tess, thanks, boys. It was a good race. I don't think my arms were really prepared for 200 laps around Dover. I don't think I've done laps around this track in about 5 or 6 years. So yeah, it was good fun just plugging away. I had a better quali run than I thought I would. So started just outside the 10 and yeah, kind of just worked really hard to stay towards the front and try to keep out of damage and keep out of the wrecks. And for a change, it worked out. So here we are, podium. Yeah.
Keeping your nose clean tonight was really important, and just keeping up in that sort of top group as well. You managed to miss out on that big wreck we saw in the mid section of the race, of course, and that must have helped out an enormous amount.
Yeah, I actually managed to self-sabotage a few times before that, just getting into the wall, exiting 4. And I took on just a little bit of damage, and I just at one stage broke the draft. And I kind of looked around and I thought, flip, I'm quite comfortable with where I am. I could try a race up to the group ahead again. And they all pitted, and I decided to stay out a little bit longer. And yeah, it was probably a blessing in disguise because I think I probably would have been right in the mix of that. So yeah, sometimes a little bit self-sabotage goes a long way to getting you up to the front.
I actually think it was that love tap that Aidan gave you that pushed that right rear in a little bit.
Yeah, I was pretty hot on the radio when it did happen, so maybe I should go send him a box of chocolates and say thanks to him for that. It was probably that. You're probably right. No good deed goes unpunished, yeah.
Well, we saw you on that restart. Of course, you had Hobson, Dyson, and Jaeger in front of you, of course, with Skurlock sitting behind you, but quite a lot of damage on Skurlock's car. So obviously, on that final restart, what were your thoughts on position wise? Were you sort of thinking definitely a top three's in order here, or were you sort of thinking maybe I could get a little bit higher?
I hate to admit it, but I actually chickened out. I was chatting to Dyson on the radio, and I said, man, I just want to get the podium monkey off my back, and I'll try to race as hard as I could. I knew I was a little bit damaged, so at that stage it was kind of just going, I know I'm not racing the guys at the front for the championship, so I got to be honest, I was going to go for a gap if it was there. I was a little bit too cautious as we got on the loud pedal, and yeah, at that stage it was kind of just settled for third, I suppose. Yeah.
Look, nothing wrong in that, and as you said, getting the podium monkey off your back as well, that's always a good thing, because now it's done. The only way you can go is further up the podium, so now that's the only pressure for it. Obviously that move on Jaeger, managed to get a nice pass on him at the end there, just getting that low line working and just getting it underneath him, and really nice move for position, that one, and then it was just a matter of just cruising at home, obviously.
Yeah, just thanks. I think that low line was pretty much the only line I knew how to run the whole day. I saw people running up a little bit high every now and then. I just couldn't get the car turned and bring it back down to run that line. So it was the only line I ran. I was actually quite lucky in that earlier run. I managed to get past him. I don't know, probably 3 or 4 laps before that caution came out, and just get back onto the lead lap. So I knew at that stage, I think there was a little bit of damage, and yeah, it was. I needed to put a clean move. It took me a couple of laps to get it done, and I also fell the trap of watching my mirrors for the next 2 or 3 laps. But slowly the gap just got bigger and bigger, and then it was quite comfortable just watching to see whether Darso and Hobbo could send any fireworks my way from the front. But they kept it nice and clean, and yeah, nice simple 1, 2, 3 in that last 20 lap run.
Look, congratulations on your first podium in the Cup Series. A really well-driven race from you. The usual thing of love and shout out to sponsors and people in general.
Cheers, thanks guys. It was good fun. Just a big thanks to my Simrix DPR teammates. It's been a hell of a long time since I hopped back in an oval car, and they've really got excited about this ANZCAR League. To the extent that I decided to roll it out the shed and get back in it with again. So just thanks to them for all the help, and it's a hell of a nice bunch of guys. So thank you guys for a great broadcast, and everyone else for making it a good fun league.
Not a problem. Congratulations on your first podium in the Cup Series. Download there for DPR. Hopefully, we'll get you back in the box soon.
Look forward to it. We'll see you guys then.
Next up, we will grab his teammate of DPR and second place finisher tonight. A man that gained 23 positions tonight, and most of them were done out on track, not through pit stops. He's got a heck of a lot of overtaking. Mr. Andrew Dyson. Dyson, welcome back to the booth. Congratulations on a solid P2 tonight.
Hey guys, yeah, that was a lot of fun in that first stint there. I really enjoyed that. The cautions not so much, but that first part of that race, that was really cool.
Yeah, look, we'll ignore the cautions for now. That
Yeah.
first stint, you did a lot of work. It was a busy night in the office for you.
Yeah, I actually asked the guys, like, am I going too fast here? Like, is there something about the front right tire I don't know about? Like, is it going to blow out like it happened to everyone the other night or the last time we were here? But I thought, bugger it, I'll go on with it and see what happens. Like, I haven't really got nothing to lose because I started pretty far back anyway, and that's kind of how it went.
Yeah, it worked out well for you. Obviously, starting that far back, a bit of an error in qualifying, or was it a sort of
Yeah.
tactical move?
Yeah, just blew it up, mate. Just blew, not blew it tough, but I blew up my qualifying run, pretty big style.
Okie dokie. Well, that's all right. You always wonder, sometimes people are like, oh, no, I just want to start at the back. But no, obviously, didn't work out well for you in qualifying, but in race, it worked out much better for you. Saw that bit of a hit on the right front as well for you. Did that affect the car much?
Yeah, I had about probably 3, maybe even 4 touches on the fence, and it did affect the straight line. I was not really in a position to attack people. I was more in a position to kind of cling on to people. But I did the best I could.
You wouldn't know it from watching your race out there. I mean, you put the attacks on pretty hard.
Yeah, early on it didn't affect me too much, but at the end it certainly did. Yeah.
No, look, it was great watching you out there. You sort of ran all the different lines as well.
Yeah, sometimes you got to discover some unexplored lines and try some stuff when you're out there with the pack. See if you can make something happen. Yeah, I guess that's what I was doing there, but it worked. Sometimes it didn't. Sometimes I cooked the tire. Sometimes I had to wait. Just the way it goes. It was good fun though.
And probably a bit hard for you to remember, but there was one moment in the race where the back end stepped out on you, we saw, and you did a bit of a super save again. And again, the cat-like reflexes of yourself avoiding a wreck as well. You've had a couple of moments tonight where it was very, very close to becoming the end of the night, but you managed to just squeeze it through.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Sometimes you think, just when you think you've used up all your luck that you possibly could have used up, sometimes, there's still someone sort of looking after you, I guess. But yeah, there's a couple of pretty cool saves. They were pretty dangerous, but that one with Ryan Jones having a bit of a moment. I thought he was definitely going to collect my rear quarter panel and I'd be in the fence, but that was super lucky to get away with that. I think, man, I reckon his car probably ghosted through mine. It seemed like it was that close from the driver's seat.
Look, yeah, absolutely got away with it tonight, and hopefully not all the luck used up for the season. So hopefully there's a little bit left in the old luckometer for you. But skill as well goes into it because that save was pretty super when it happened. We saw a lot of people losing it when the back end stepped out. These cars very hard to control, and we do know you're pretty good at keeping these cars under control when they step out.
Drifting is my favorite pastime. So, but yeah, those little slides like that, they do not help you at all.
I was just going to say that how you missed that accident, I have no idea. What you got lucky underwear, lucky shoes, lucky socks, or because I was sure you were out there.
You know, I'm not actually superstitious to be honest with you. I don't really have anything lucky. I don't know. I have this thing where I eat KFC on Fridays before ANZCAR because it's easy and I don't have to cook anything before I practice. Maybe it could be that.
It's
Well,
either that or it's the beards. Because I mean, look, you and Hobbo both have amazing beards, and
Oh,
you seem to do well in ANZCAR. So it must be something to do with beards. That's my that's my thinking.
yeah, my beard used to be pretty glorious, but it got a bit out of hand. I took it off, and there's so much white hair in it now. It hasn't really gone back yet, so I can't claim or profess to have a glorious beard or be a beard professor or anything like that. But
Congratulations tonight, guys. So look, this championship battle between yourself and Hobbo is really heating up as well. Obviously on track as well. Seeing you both battle out there tonight was great to see. The usual thing of shout and love to sponsors.
yeah, thanks, man. Thanks to you guys for putting it all on. Thanks to all the guys behind the scenes who do all the work to make it happen. Big shout out to 24/7 Sim Services who get behind the series and support ANZCAR. I really appreciate it, and all the other sponsors throughout the week that support the other series that happen. Big shout out to simrigs.com, Southwell List and Hoists, Benmax Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, and MP Designs for the paint jobs and 3D printing and all the rest of it that guy gets done.
Thank you so much, guys. So I'm sure we'll catch you back in the booth soon. Have a great week.
No worries, mate. I'll have a go. Thanks, guys.
And finally, for tonight, for the Synergy team, it is the 88, a man that has been getting in the booth so often recently. Third win of the season, Brenton Hobson. Congratulations on a great drive tonight, and well done on the victory.
Thanks, Carl. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like a bit of the furniture up here, which is nice.
well, we have got a couch here now for you.
Oh, excellent. It's all about the comfort.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a couch yet. Gallagher does own the couch. Hamish owns the couch. You've got a chair at the moment. You might move up to the couch eventually. But you've been having a fantastic run of results recently. It has been a great. The mid-season has really been stepping up for you, and it seems like this oval stuff is just clicking at the moment.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, Carl. I think that's part of it too, because when you enjoy it, it just comes to you. So I'm really happy with tonight. I mean, I've had some wins on tracks that I think that I know are in my wheelhouse, but historically, this has not been a track that I've done very well at in Cup cars when I've raced it, which isn't a lot, as you know, but I tend to be very, very bad on tyres at this place. Even tonight, I was not that good on tyres, but I think, I'm happy with the strategy that I played. I didn't qualify as well as I should have. So that dictated the race for me a little bit, which was to ride around a bit more and try not be too aggressive. And in the end, played the strategy that is very uncomfortable for me, which is to run long and then pit late and come back with a better tire. I was very skeptical about doing it, but I saw a couple of people pitted earlier, and that sort of committed me to going the other way. So, I think in the end, I made the right call. It was a good strategy. It put me back to the front of the group, before the finish, and then we got that late caution and just did the right moves and drove the car right at the end for the last 10 lap sprint there to get the win. So all in all, I think I sort of did everything that I needed to do, and I did it all well. And for me on a track like this, that's a big plus, and that's a confidence thing for me now on these sort of high bank ovals.
Yeah, we saw from you as well that you could seemingly run most of the lines as well, but that low line you just had amazing exit speed from.
Yeah, difficult line to get right. I didn't want to run the low line particularly early, that first run in the early run, because I was worried really about protecting my corner exit. I didn't want to knock the wall down. It's pretty easy to get tight on corner exit around here. So I was more committed to running a high line and then low off. But um, I found out when we sort of pitted that I was using a lot more tire doing that. So I started committing to the lower groove and sort of got my eye in on it. And it is fast down there, but it's a little scary. So again, it's a confidence thing. You start ripping laps down there, you feel good, and you sort of learn, how hard you can push. And I think that in the end, it was probably good for me to move around and try a lot of different stuff. I think I was pretty good everywhere, to be honest, and was able to build some runs on guys using some different lines and stuff like that. So again, it's all just confidence and it's learning. Like, it's stuff that I don't know. So for me, it's a lot of it's learning. And I think I learned a heap tonight.
How scary is that, Mark? He's learning and building confidence, wins the race, after some really, really great overtakes and still learning and building confidence.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was actually just going to say, you seem to run more the high line in like that mid to high line in 3 and 4, and then 1 and 2 you were down on the pole line. Was there any real big difference in the turns?
Well, 1 and 2 is a little smoother, particularly on the entry down to the corner. There's a few less bumps, so you can sort of control where you want to go down there a little better. But 3 and 4, particularly off 4, I found that to be the corner that get really tight coming up off there, and I'm just terrified of knocking the right front out of the car by going up into the fence. So anywhere that you can run a bit of a higher line, you can straighten out your exit a little bit more. So you just take a little bit of wheel out of the car, which I was hoping would help with the right front tire wear, but it was also trying to protect against hitting the wall. Really, it's easy to make a mistake. So um, there was just a little bit of trying to just take a little bit of the percentage of risk out of it. But I mean, it felt natural for me to do it that way too, which is why I was doing it. But I don't know whether or not that's the right thing to do. But I mean, it worked tonight, so I guess it was okay.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say, Carl, it definitely worked for him tonight, didn't it?
It did indeed. We're off to Darlington next. Again, a bit of a short track, a tricky track to run on as well. Much experience around the Lady in Black.
I think I've raced there twice in Cup cars. I think that was one of the chase races that I did at the end of last year, if I remember correctly, in ANZCAR. So probably more experience there than a lot of the others. And I actually ran pretty well, if I remember correctly. I ran pretty well in that race last year, but that is a really hard track. I had run there once before in NIS, and it was by far, without a doubt, my worst track by a long way too. So that's a track that I don't have much confidence with, and I really wouldn't be surprised if I'm sort of nowhere, but we will see. It'll probably require just a little bit of practice, perhaps a little more than usual, just to get my head around it. But it's a difficult track. I mean, you're very committed to the top. It's narrow, it's fast, and there's a very small margin for error. So a lot of unknowns with this car too. We haven't really driven probably anything quite like that yet. So like the whole season has been for everyone with the new car, but especially for me with my reasonably low experience in oval stuff, it's just a learning thing. So if I don't have a good race, at least if I can leave there understanding it a bit better, then I'll be happy with that. I'll have pretty modest goals and expectations for myself, but I'm always hoping that I'll find myself at the pointy end.
No, well, we will see you there, and hopefully your run of luck continue and get you back up here in the booth. Look, fantastic run tonight. Congratulations on the third win of the season, and the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors and people in general.
Yeah, shout out to the guys in the team. J. Russ had a bit of a rough night tonight, unlucky for him again tonight, and also very unlucky for the Mitch boys as well, particularly Jason, who was on such a good run, and they put it on the front row, which was
Yeah,
awesome to see those cars at the front again, which is where they belong. So a little unlucky that they didn't get the result in the end, but at least they were there and they were fast tonight. So shout out to those guys. It's good to see them doing what we expect from those guys this week, and hopefully we see more of it again. But also, yeah, to the sponsors on the car, Smith & Sons Renovations and Extensions, DGD Custom, Wave Runner Performance Centre, Aftershock PC, JK Signs, and all the rest. There's plenty of them, and they know who they are, and we appreciate them. And to the league for putting on the series, it's great fun. All the people that run in it, and of course to you guys for the broadcast.
no worries. Give us racing like that. It makes the job easy. Thank you so much, Brenton Hobson, for Synergy Sim Racing. Congratulations on third win of the season.
Thanks, guys.
So, Mark, race over and done with. We have finished here at Dover. Sorry, a bit of a long race tonight. Obviously, with those cautions, it really spread things out. But the green racing we saw some fantastic action.
Yeah, some fantastic action, and thank you everyone for giving me my racing line for next week when we go there. So no, some great racing. Unfortunate for some, but yeah, it's the league's just getting stronger and stronger, and you can see the racing is going right down to the wire now. So anyone can win these races, and it's a great thing to see.
Exactly, and it was great to see Roman Jaeger up there as well. Fantastic run for him up in P4 tonight. Really strong finish for him tonight, considering all the troubles he had. Scott as well, managing to get up there in fifth as well, with the fact he got caught in so many of the wrecks as well. It was a bit of a different race tonight, but Darlington next time for the Cup is the throwback round as well. So hopefully we'll see some really awesome retro liveries out there. Looking forward to that one as well. As ever, a big thank you to Mr. Mark Johansson. Thank you so much for joining us up here in the booth for calling this race tonight.
A pleasure, mate, and if I can make it again next week, if the viewers want me back, I'll be back. And if you guys want me back, I'll come back next week for Darlington. It's a great track, hard one to master. So it's going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top next week.
Absolutely. And a big thank you to Mr. Matt Hunter, of course, behind the scenes on the cameras, doing all of the hard work while we get the easy job of just talking. A big thanks to Matt Hunter tonight. And we will wish you all a lovely week and see you again soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.